Assalamualaikum and a very good morning to all lecturers, students, postgraduate and undergraduates, also our guests from outside, which is from wherever you are, because this is will be FB Live. Today we are from live from meeting room School of the Arts, University Science Malaysia. So today with me is one important person in the performing arts fields in Malaysia, which is Professor Emeritus Datuk Dr. Ghouse Nasuruddin, which is here with me now. And before we go for the presentation, I would like to explain and to brief the Prof Ghouse Nasuruddin backgrounds. Okay, so Professor Emeritus Datuk Dr. Ghouse Nasuruddin is a lecturer and professor in the School of the Arts USM, and he has written 7 books on dance, music and theatre, and performance arts, and also write in direct plays at the local and international level. Currently, he writes on governance, culture, and heritage, also education. And until today, he is an honorary fellow on the Center for Policy Research and International Studies, CENPRIS at USM, Penang. Okay, so Prof Ghouse also very active writing and contribute in the New Straits Times and ST newspapers. Therefore, very active and to write an article related issue, politics, cultural, performing arts, education, and very small. So without further ado, I would like to invite Prof Ghouse to present and share his knowledge and experience in research. So please, Prof Ghouse.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Basically, this morning I'm going to share with you my experience, whatever little experience I have in research. And one of the areas that I am involved in research is the specifically performance healing. And this research was actually funded by the Ministry of Higher Education. I think starting 2013, I think.
2012 Datuk.
And we have a team. My group is a performance healing group, part of the subsection. The others are about 3 more subsections that deals with various facets of research on local wisdom. Ours is performance healing, and we co-opted various researchers from 4 or 5 universities. Well, this morning, we're talking about local wisdom. I just mentioned this now. I think you have seen this one already, although you can't hear my voice. Local wisdom is the local sensibilities that regulates and guides the community towards a kind of social interaction and survival to uphold its ethical and moral precepts within the framework of human existence. The other thing is research. We all know research. We do research, but actually, philosophically, research is to understand the existential phenomena. There's so many things that we do not know. The physical, the metaphysical, the cosmological aspect of existence, and some are beyond human comprehension. So this research are mundanely divided into science and arts. And the emphasis right now is given to science. As if science is the beginning and the end all of everything. And the humanities play second fiddle. Usually the universities administrators prefer scientific research, saying that they can develop physical products. But most scientific research, most research, university research ends up in publication, which nobody reads. So, whereas humanities research, social science research ends up in publication, which gather dust in the library or in other recesses of the archives. But the most neglected research, and that is normally looked at condescendingly, is the creative research. Here, because creative performances, music, dance, theatre. So, in terms of our research on performance healing, there have been some inquiry into this perspective, and this form of research is dying. And then it is in the context of traditional theatre, in the context of performance healing. Okay, we research within the context of traditional knowledge and traditional wisdom, which is fast disappearing because of the onslaught of modern clinical medicine. This traditional performing arts, the performance healing, is referred to anthropological medicine, as opposed to clinical medicine, which is the modern form of medicine. Performance healing is a non-invasive application using external stimuli to activate the healing energy of the patient. And the patients are normally come within a certain specific culture, and because the healing is cultural specific. For example, Main Putri in Kelantan, the Kelantan people are susceptible to the angin, and they will react. Whereas you take somebody from Kelang Valley or from Penang, and who have been not exposed to the cultural norms and cultural nuances and cultural psychic of the Kelantanese community, will not react accordingly. You may not get any result. Nevertheless, this performance healing has a close affinity with the scientific inquiry. For example, anthropological and clinical medicine have a link here. When we do when the ritual is carried on, it uses stimuli like the sonic orders, that is music, kinetic energy, that is movement, and olfactory, this is the smell. And these elements, these stimulus, have been found to activate brainwave pattern. They will also provoke the pharmacy of the brain to release chemical like endocrine, dopamine, and opioid to alleviate the kind of stress with the people, within the patients. And normally, the performance healing deal with psychosomatic maladies and aberration due to various factors. And this, in the parlance of the traditional shaman, all these maladies are assigned to spiritual interferences and spiritual influences, because in the rural areas, natural phenomena have a link. They ascribe most natural phenomena to specific spirits. To orang hutan, wayang kulit, and hutan, and the spirits, harimau besar, sejang kilat, sejalan wangi. So these are the spirits. So during the performance, they will invoke the spirits to appear. Whereas this is, we still cannot prove exactly the presence of the spirit. Perhaps we could use a scientific method of heat presence or other means of identifying such ethereal presence. But it could also be a placebo, it could also be auto-suggestion. And through the medium of trance, you can activate a lot. The body can heal itself in various ways. So this performance healing have come to that, use that kind of element. In terms of traditional performance healing, it is couched in traditional terminology that represents spiritual alignment, traditional ancestral psychic cosmological phenomena. And you transfer it to the clinical medicine, it will be based on brainwave pattern, chemical release by the brain that can be detected through saliva and blood tests and so on. So there's a definite correlation. Our research is only the basic, the first phase research that undertakes the to discover the fundamental aspect of the ritual. The second phase, which have not been undertaken yet, would be to correlate it to modern clinical medicine. We have found that we can use movement and for stroke patients, rehabilitation of stroke patients. We have found that music we can use for disabled children, cerebral palsy, autism, and so on, which we at USM we have undertaken research and also implemented in the community this therapy, music, movement therapy. So there's a definite relationship. We need to understand more of this traditional healing prospect that it's fast going into oblivion because of urbanization, Western type of education, that we begin to lose the various facets of our heritage. It is a sad thing, but it is happening. What more with online education, the so-called online education, you will eventually lose everything. You only have the line. So healing is an integral part of traditional wisdom divided into various categories. You have the herbal application, jamu, whatever it is that they do, and tactile application is massage and so on. Performance rituals. These are the three main things. And in the performance ritual, you have the concept of the angin, auto-suggestion, placebo, and also the patient must believe in the healing capability of the shaman. It is like when you are sick, you go to the clinic, by the time you reach the counter, you already feel half cured. It is the belief that you will be cured that is very important. So in
Adik tak pergi.
applying for the grant for the research, you of course have to develop research design and algorithm to collect data for the experiment and so on. And then the first phase one we did was to identify the domain of anthropological and therapeutic healing, its nature, distribution, frequency of usage, as well as its functional and esoteric application. This we did through first published materials, area primary field work to a certain various types of healing and their distribution, and those are still existing. And then the logistic, you know, when you do the logistic from field work logistic, you have, I think everybody knows what needs to be done, especially the team I work with. We have to prepare to make sure that everything is in order so that when you go to the field, you go to the site, you do not, you will find that you will need, you may find that you didn't bring certain things that is crucial to the recording or to the investigation. So then we have the actual field work, documentation. You document it, visual, audio visual, and then interview, and then field notes, so on. This is the same one that we went through, just insert so that you know the kind of field work and area that we went. This is in the Felda scheme in the jungle, and they use here they using music for therapy. That is the chetong, bamboo poles. After having the data, you have to transcribe the audio materials, field notes, and so on, and then you return to the field to corroborate the data. After that, you do the writing up, field narrative, field report. The name, you have to document all details so that the next time you require to return to the field to a certain fact, you have all these things. Do not make the mistake of not living things that seem trivial, but which later would become important where you need to source out the information. And then you after written the papers, then you write up conference paper or journal submission. And the data that we collected, we published it in IISI journal, also in local journal, as well as monographs. As for me, I've collected the data and wrote it up into the form of a book. It is called, can you see this book? It is what called Traditional Anthropological Performance Healing. I couldn't get it published in, okay. This is published by UPM, and it details scientifically also the element there, the performance healing. You can get it. I think this book, it encapsulates the main element of our investigation. In fact, initially we wanted to get the team to contribute, but apparently the team had their own initiative in getting into other journals. So because we look at things differently, and so I collected my own and I mean to the book. It has a pictorial representation that would help, because text alone is not enough. In terms of traditional healing, traditional facets of life existence, you need a visual representation to give you a clearer picture of the ambience. Words are not enough to describe, because you do not have the mental image of the surrounding. Therefore, in terms of communicating to the audience, audience familiar with the surrounding will be able to grasp and see the imagery. But audience alien to such a surrounding will just sense the text only and may not get the full impact of what we want to say. And also a result of this, because when you deal with performance healing, you have legend, laws, and more. But even before that, so I also translated some of the legends more into a novelette, because we have in Mind Putri, you want process of healing, you can call down the spirit of the serpent or the serpent that comes and heal yourself. And there's been stories that serpent can heal people, people can communicate with serpent. As a result, I have written the novel also, small one. It's called The Child and the Serpent. And again, this is published by UPM. Anyway, in conclusion, research into life phenomena with the objective of advancing knowledge is an integral part of academia. And knowledge is transmitted through publication, teaching, conferences, and seminars. Unfortunately, universities emphasize on conventional textual research and neglect creative research and visual publication, thus discriminating those in the creative fields. The time has come for a paradigm shift to recognize and place on par both the functional and creative research for both advance the awareness of our existence in different ways. And these are some pictures to show the healing process at KUDA KEPANG. This is another facet. This is a new book that will come out in at the end, or hopefully end of the year, and also to be published by UPM. Anyway, that's it in a nutshell. What I've been doing, what me and my colleagues have been doing. This wouldn't have been possible without the collaboration of so many people. So, thank you very much for listening.
Okay. Thank you very much, Prof. Ghouse. So, if you have any question regarding this topic, so please write the question, or you can direct ask Prof. Ghouse. Use your microphone on your microphone. Don't forget. Also, you can send the comments at FB Live. Also, we have a FB Live today, so I will read the comment. So meaning that Prof. Ghouse, while we're waiting for the questionnaire, meaning that the arts and science really we need each other to.
Yeah, you need the arts and science. These are not compartmentalized, you know. They are linked in certain ways, especially in healing, you know. Especially in healing, we can investigate and inquire from the ritualistic perspective, and at the same time, we can collate it with scientific inquiry using scientific method. So to understand the natural phenomena, we need both. Science is not the only facet that details and describes human existence. There are other facets beyond science, beyond evidence, and that appeals to the intuition and beyond the physicality of our existence. In fact, the physicality of existence comprises only about 30% of existence. The other 70% rest with the ghaib, al-ghuyub, with the intangible, cosmological phenomena that we need to look and see. And you cannot discount. You have to look at every facet of discussion, of knowledge, to begin to understand phenomena. You can look for certain phenomena from a scientific perspective. You can look it from the traditional perspective. You can look it from the anthropological perspective. They all will combine and give you a larger picture of phenomena. Natural phenomena cannot be explained just from one perspective. You see a problem, you see from various perspectives. And I find that what is needed to be done, that most lecturers are only concentrate on certain discipline. In terms of research, in terms of interdisciplinary research, you will have to develop a secondary emphasis in terms of your skill. In researching this one, I have to read up on genetics, DNA, discipline, interdiscipline. You need, and you need very much this neglected field of philosophy. Philosophy gives you a broader vista of your existence and comprehension of your surroundings, of the tangible and intangible surrounding. It is most important. But unfortunately, we are so cocooned with materialistic usually tendencies that we have. Everything has to have a reason. I always say reason kills you. Sometimes you need to do things without reason. Throw caution to the wind. So in terms of research, in terms of creative research, in terms of the choreography or dance, you just create, its performances and so on. And if you do the other type of research, which you're trying to document dance, for example, maybe my latest book, there you must not only be you must be an involved inquirer. You have to be a dancer to understand. You have to be a musician to understand, to write about music. You just cannot write as looking from outside. When you write on the rubak, for example, music rubak, you must know how to play the rubak. Then you can give a better understanding. But more unfortunately, most of our lecturers are superficially equipped. They need to go more beyond trying to get publication and promotion and KPI. And I say that KPI kills you. The worst thing that can happen to a university lecturer is for him or her to be shackled to KPI, and so that he becomes myopic in his vision in seeing the existence. That is happening to our lecturers in university, and we are not going to get Nobel Prize because from that perspective, when you are put to KPI. Any question which you can answer?
Okay, any question from the audience? If you have any question, can ask direct to Prof Ghouse Nasuruddin. Dr. Hadi, you have any question?
Assalamualaikum, Datuk. Datuk, we've been researching on the healing performance for many years, and there are many types of offerings in terms of healing performance. I mean, what can you say on the differences of the offerings of different kind of healing performance so far that you have observed? Thank you.
Offerings are normally we looked at from Lord in Kelantan, main peteri, main bagi, wayang kulit, and also berbuah haizan. You see, these are cultural specific. The offerings are usually the kind of food that the dalang or the shaman thinks that the spirit would be amenable to. And such food, there's a lot of food. There are organic food, inorganic things, and then some things like the sea, they're connected with the spirit. So the offering varies according to localities, according to culture. For example, in Main Puteri, we cannot offer babi. Okay, it's outside our culture. But you go Izan, Sabah, they can offer, they offer sacrifice a piglet for that. And then the offerings are usually those available within the community. Before long, I think, when you do offerings, perhaps in Penang or in KL, we can offer McDonald, Kentucky, because we have a modern form of for spirit right now. So in the locality, they count the availability of offering sajian. Kalau KUDA KEPANG sajian yang lain, this is local sajian. So, you can see my face, no? So, Adi, we cannot offer piglet here, cannot. We cannot offer like apa ni pangolin or other exotic stuff. But in northern Sabah, you can offer wild boar. Is available there? Right? So it is more specific. It is the gesture, and after that, I know Adi, we're seen together, you and me, where the offerings are either put near the forest or floated down river. They say the offering absorb all the negative energy and ailments, and then are taken away. This is we call it sympathetic magic. Okay.
Thank you, Datuk.
Welcome. Thank you. And the other thing is that for this research, I must thank the former VC, Datuk Omar Osman. He was instrumental in getting this on the road. He was the one that brought it and his conception of science and arts together. And everything we given to him, for him. And also the other person that we have to recognize is Prof SABAH, who is our head of our the cluster. The cluster. He supervises all the 4 clusters, and to ensure things are moving accordingly. But Dr. Professor Man is responsible for getting this thing moving and to getting things renewed and so on. And the team has been excellent. Although some of the team cannot stand mosquito bites in the field, and some of the field cannot stay in the open, they need hotel and so on. But nevertheless, we managed to get them whatever they want, and we really enjoyed. We had fun in the field work. But I think our experience, I find the fieldwork experience is invaluable. You not only look at the data, but you begin to learn about the lives of the people around you. You begin to learn, you begin to see the kind of economic activity, religious activity, and the beliefs of the people translated and expressed to various forms of expression in the arts, in their daily life, in their clothes, in their behavioral pattern. Is very important. So when you do research next time, don't just concentrate on your specific area, but look out, look around you. There are a lot of things that you can learn and gather data that can be used for later application.
So for those who want to read Prof books, so I have a few. So here is the small books. the author is from council. By my own, I'm not sure with others.
No, this is my own.
But look at this is from UPM public recognition.
Publication.
Okay, so also we have another one is anthropological performance. Okay, so for those who want to buy this and get it, you get it from the UPM bookshop. So before we end this session, do you have any question maybe from Dr. Kizal or Encik Halimi? Before this is the last question, I think, before we close this.
Doctor, hello. Have you ever focused on Wayang Kelantan?
Yes.
Could you help me? Because I research about this. And how many dalang I can to have an interview with them in Kelantan?
Oh, dalang. Because what nowadays dalang are quite a rare species. You may not, unlike before, you have 30, 40 dalangs. You know, now they're practicing dalang. Before we used to go with Dola Baju Merah, Hamzah Awang Ahmad, but they are now no longer with us.
Foreman.
They have now. I think I give you one dalang which we use to him, who has his own gallery, is KUDA.
Oh, so that is not so many dalang still performing.
Yeah, to be honest with you, we haven't really done an assessment of the number of dalangs available. I think we need to do that, wayang kulit dalang. But I think what you need to do, if you go to first go to Cikgu Daim, and he will be able to direct you to various dalang. But perhaps I think they have one in Pasir Mas, in another one in Pintu Gang, Pacho, you know, all this area. They have dalang because the Kelantan government does not encourage this kind of performances. So this is a problem, and because of the ruling, lot of aspiring dalangs have lost heart and have not been active at all. But you get dalang in KL, in Aswara, you have the dalang. Aswara, you have dalang. USM, you have one dalang. Cik Mat Yusof.
No.
Cik Mat Yusof, dalang, and also Jufri.
Yeah.
Jufri.
I have ever been interviewed with him.
These are my colleagues. And Aswara, you have Pak Nasir. And UITM, you may have UPSI. UPSI will have a dalang. UPSI, good UPSI dalang. Now the dalang all have migrated from Kelantan to an educational institution. And the Ministry of Culture, it is only in Aswara that they have a dalang.
So if the dalang and the puppet maker is same person?
It can be both. Normally, the dalang and the puppet maker is the same person.
Or maybe have another only to make some puppets. Don't do be a dalang. So if I can find them.
Yeah, traditional dalang are usually
a same
dalang, puppet maker, and musician.
Yeah.
Modern dalang.
Yeah.
They are all compartmentalized. You just play dalang. You don't play. Some of them do not play the music because to be a dalang, you must know the music. And then for the thing, you have to know the thing, and you have to sing the aria. You find what has been wayang kulit performance in the urban areas. You have dalang that articulate the puppets only, and with the narration. Most of them do not know the whole spectrum of musical requirements for the wayang kulit performance. That is normal. But traditional dalangs are very accomplished. They play puppets, their own puppets. They perform and then they play musical instrument. They do multitasking.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Okay, I think we need to end off this session. So before we end, please look at the chat area, chatting area in the live view. So we have sent the link for you to register and to fill out the link to make sure you get the CPD to record your attendance today for RF. Also for students, you need to click the register and to get your CSD points. Okay. And then I think only that's all for now, Prof. I take this opportunity to express my hope that this program, Research on Friday, will be an important step in our effort to improve the quality of our research. So this is especially for postgraduate students. And thank you, Prof, for your time today. And I wish you good luck for your success. And see you again on the next session. If we have, saya akan jemput lagi. And thank you guys. Thank you everyone. And we'll meet again for the next session, inshallah next month for the next presenter. Thank you and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.